One.
Welcome to another scintillating edition of Friday at 4:20 on this Tuesday at 4:40. And it is our great pleasure to have you joining us for, a little comedy roundtable, if you will. And joining us, one of our favorite guests is here. So we're excited about that. And we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun on this Tuesday afternoon, dreary day outside. So why not pull up a chair and enjoy this Facebook Live edition of Friday at 4:20. My name is Mike Nabuurs, your host. And of course, I've got to introduce the panel as we always do. Please say hello to my mentor and the love guru, Mr. Patrick Coppolino.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, Patrick. How are you?
I'm good. I got my cast off yesterday.
Oh, wow. He's castless.
Nice.
Is it fully functional again?
No. I have a splint I have to wear. I can't make a fist yet.
Can you play video games with it yet?
A little bit.
Okay, because that's what you were downtrodden over that. Yeah. So that's good. That didn't seem to be on very long.
It was 3 weeks, but I still got another 3 or 4 weeks of healing to do. But
okay, and you're still not fully. You haven't. You're not prepared to share with us exactly how it happened yet.
I'll keep it a mystery.
Is it emotional healing or just physical?
Yeah. That's what the doctor said. There's 3 more weeks for the bone, and then a few more for my
it's emotional
for my heart. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's good to have you castless, Patrick, and in the fold. Please welcome our other weekly panelist, Mr. Manolis Zontanos.
Hey, dude. I'm so happy to see you, and thank you very much. You guys don't know this, but Nabuurs helped me. My fridge broke down. He showed up with his truck and helped me get rid of it.
He said he would. He offered.
Yeah.
On the radio.
But
I offered.
He called me and said, "Hey, you want me to come down and get rid of the fridge?" I'm like, "Oh, you're really gonna do it?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Manolis thought I was just wanted the brownie points for saying it on the Facebook live stream. Yeah, I'll help you get rid of it, and then just never ever call.
It was so nice.
Not that guy.
I know, but almost everybody knows that guy. So like maybe I'm that guy. I don't know. But,
so Patrick is castless. Manolis is fridgeless. Let's find out what our special guest is today. Please, everybody, say hello to the host of This Is My Show. It's Mr. Scott Faulconbridge.
Woo!
Hey guys, hey, listen. I just want to try my entrance here. Okay, I want to do with a sliding. Hang on, do the sliding chair. Does that work?
Oh yeah. Except you slid a little too far over and you blocked out the W in This Is My Show. So you might want to just keep it tight to the other side of the screen.
I'll work on it. I'll rehearse.
Okay. How are you, Scotty?
What's that? I'm great. I'm great.
Yeah. How are things on the set of This Is My Show?
We just developed a new entrance.
It was big day.
Called the sliding chair. It's going well. We finished the first episode. We're starting to work on the second episode. We're talking to different people about how to distribute it platform wise, and it's like a work in progress, but it's moving. It's fun, and we get a lot of positive response from the first episode, so that's great.
That is awesome. I remember last time you were on, you were just getting ready to debut that first episode, and just refer to us again. Where can people find the first episode now that it's been up?
So it's going to be downloadable soon. The first episode on unknowncomedyclub.com. People are going to be able to stream it. So there'll be people can catch a live show every once in a while when we record something, and then it's always going to be downloadable. And we're hoping to slowly build up a library of specials. This Is My Show. It's sketch and stand up and improv, and we had special guest David Pride from Montreal was on it. So that was the first one. So it's a lot of fun, and so far so good.
Excellent. Well, that is great. What you guys don't know that is happening right now as we speak. My dog was not well during the day today, could not eat. And then just in the last 10 minutes, the dog came and laid under the table that my computer is sitting at. And she is now gassing me like she's Manolis in fur. No. I am literally, my eyes are watering as Scott is telling me the story of his show. And I'm thinking, please don't notice. I'm not crying because of your show. I'm crying because my dog is farting.
Yeah. Mike, I'm sorry about your dog, but I'm kind of relieved because I thought it was my dog. Like when I heard the dog kind of like make that
Something.
I'm sick sound, I thought, oh my God, where's my dog? Why am I talking to these guys right now?
Listen, why you're talking to us is because you're a very funny man, Scott Faulconbridge, and we appreciate having you on this Friday at 4:20. So what do you say we get to the game, boys? Here they are, the 12 random envelopes with 12 random topics. And we are going to go with topic number 11. That is Scott's first topic on this Friday at 4:20. And that is going to be this. It's funny. We were just talking about this. Isn't that weird? Emails. How do you feel about email? Email has been with us for some time now, and we all have our love-hate relationship with email. I'm sure sometimes there's good things and bad things that can happen with email. What do you personally feel about emails? Is there some way we can make them better, Scott? How do you rate the email system?
Well, after yesterday, when all of Facebook shut down, I think I can probably speak for the world and say, thank God for email.
Right.
Because
the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way. Also, what I love about email, it actually can complement other things you do. For example, to this day, my mother, who's 80, she's on Facebook. She uses Facebook. And when she really likes a post that I do, she sends me an email to tell me about it. Which is one of my favorite things. She literally sends me an email. I really enjoyed that post you made. And so I don't think clued into how Facebook works, but I love that she uses the old technology like to compliment you on the new technology. You know, it's kind of like, I really enjoyed that movie you made. I think I'll send him a telegram.
Instead of posting a comment.
Instead of posting a comment, a like, a love, an emoji.
Yeah.
Send you an email.
No need to use the technology.
No. I was one of my dad's in his 80s, and he's on Facebook. And one of our favorite stories in our family was my brother is notorious for not calling anybody, and so my dad posted on his wall, thinking the wall was something only that person could see, and was like,
Nice.
Paul, it's been a long time since you've called. Your mother really needs to hear from you, and that was just posted for the world to see, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
Nice.
And then all your friends of low quality jump on the wall and go, way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Low quality.
Yeah.
That thing got scorched with comments. It was fantastic.
Yes. Call your mom before I do.
Yeah. Oh, all right, Manolis, you're up on the email. How do you feel about email? Is it the bane of your existence? Is it helpful to you? What do you feel about email?
I think it's all right. It helps. One time I emailed. I was trying to promote something. I forget what it was. So I just threw. I don't have an email list. Like, I don't know how to email like a whole bunch of people at the same time. I actually don't. I don't even know if that's even possible. It must happen, right? But so I just go through each. So I went through one time. I was promoting like my new album or something. So I went through every email I had in my inbox, and then some girl like, you're emailing me back from like last time I talked to you was like 2010. And
That's awesome.
And you're like asking me to check out your album. Like, she thought it was so funny. I just like, I'm like, oh, I guess that's not cool. I don't know. Like if you wrote me a letter and I wrote a letter back to you like 2 years later, I mean, you'd still read the letter, right?
Still check out the comedy album.
But it's not good for dirty texting though, because you just gotta wait. You gotta wait too long to get the replies. You know,
Right.
It really screws up the flow. I'll tell you one thing though. I wanted to say as a little side note. Scott's really good at making mixed drinks. He helped me make a mixed drink on Saturday. Remember, Scott, at the side of the stage, the Coca-Cola.
Is that what you were doing?
Remember, I asked you to hold my Coke.
I wasn't sure, to be honest.
You don't know what that was? I poured in it.
Yeah, I figured it was you pouring yourself a drink. I don't know if I helped you.
Yeah, I said hold
I knew
my
you were
Coke.
doing some kind of chemistry experiment, but when are you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, for aspiring comics, you always want to be running a chemistry lab in the middle of a comedy show.
What,
And
did you
get
put
Scott
Mentos
to
in it?
help.
Yeah. Yeah. Was I on stage at the time, Manolis?
No, we were off we were off stage. We were at the side. Remember? I was like, hold my Coke for a second. I opened up a little bottle of vodka and I poured it in
Right.
And then you're like, ugh. You're like so
Hold my Coke for a second.
There wasn't a table.
He was secretly hoping you would roofie it while you had it, but
he's a good guy. He knows that venues have been struggling during COVID, so he likes to support them by pouring his own drinks at their venues.
Way to go, Manolis. You just lost the theater for everybody.
He likes to support the LCBO.
of course, vodka and Coke, the wonderful drink that it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
He'll order Cokes at Levity. He's like, "Can I get a Coke? Don't fill it all the way." And then he takes it to the bathroom, and then it comes out more full than when I handed it to him. I don't know how he does it.
Did he pee in it? My God.
That guy gets really drunk off of Coca-Cola, eh?
He does.
Yeah, we haven't poured him a single drink. He's wasted.
Manolis is a cheap date.
Dude, I learned that from Donnie, just so you know.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny how no one had anything to say about that. Yeah.
Just accepted it, Scott. We just accepted it. Patrick Coppolino, what about you? You do some booking for the club, so I mean, email must be a vital tool in your arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Managing a business and being a show booker, I hate email. I can't stand it anymore. I was literally talking about this with people yesterday, because it's just like I have like 3 different email addresses for the club, but sometimes comics find out about all 3 of them. So when they want spots, they'll email all 3 spots or all 3 emails.
Right.
So like, I get duplicate emails,
Or they call me.
Just like yeah. Sometimes I'll message him and then he screenshots it and sends it to me.
No, but the other thing I do is sometimes I give them his personal cell.
Oh yeah, he'll give people my phone number. I get calls from people I don't want to.
So he doesn't buy drinks at the club. He hands out your cell number to whoever he wants to. Why are you friends with Manolis again? I can't remember. What's the upshot there?
I don't know.
No one does.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. So like, I just like I don't like any of that. Like, I dread opening it because it's full every day. But
it's interesting. When I was employed, working for a large corporation, it was just my email was just inundated. And I would get literally 400 to 500 emails a day, and they didn't all concern me, but you still had to piece through it all. And so, I mean, I hated email. And then I lost my job, and now I check my email like 2 or 3 times a day. It's like, wow, nothing. Okay. And now I
That's so funny.
email a little bit.
So
it's like
funny.
somebody shoot me an email once in a while. I'm reading the ad ones and stuff. I don't care. It's like something.
Right.
It's a little lonely
Mike
out there.
started sending everyone else emails. Will you be my friend?
That's right.
call your
Please
mother;
reply.
she's looking for you.
Yes, please reply. This is Friday at 4:20. Our special guest is Scott Faulconbridge, the host of This Is My Show. Manolis and Patrick along for the ride, and so are you, and we appreciate you being here. Don't forget, you can always check out previous episodes of Friday at 4:20, including a few that involved our friend Scott. You can check those out. Any streaming service, just search Friday at 4:20. This is our topic now, a brand new topic here on the show, number 3 for those keeping track at home. And I'm sure there are many. This one, I'm going to start with Manolis. We're going to go around the horn. All 3 of you are comedians, working comedians. So we haven't asked a stand-up comedy question for a while. And this one it kind of crossed my mind. I've been watching clips of comedians on TikTok. That's a great place for comedians to drop clips. I don't know if you guys use TikTok, but I end up watching a lot of Bill Burr on there. I love Bill Burr. So I'm going to ask this question. Is it easier? And I think this would be interesting. Is it easier today or harder today to be a comedian versus whatever point you want to pick in the past? If you want to go way back to what you think it might have been like, or whether early in your career. But Manolis, I'll start with you. Do you think it's easier? Is there like more to make fun of? Do we have more in common that we can have fun with? Or are the restrictions and the people, ooh, don't say that, you're going to upset people? Is it easier or harder today, do you think, to be a stand-up comic?
I think it's harder in a sense of like back in the day, you'd like like now everybody wants to do it, so like the market is more flooded. Where
Right.
like I feel like it was easier in a way before, where when there was like no internet and you had to really want to do it. I feel like a lot of people that are doing now, if there was no social media, I don't think they would stick it out as long as they're going to stick it out now, because that they can get that online attention too. Where
Yep.
like before you mean the only attention you could ever get as a comic back in the day was literally show after show after show, and there was like where it's like you couldn't get. I mean, the first thing we ever could really say at some point was like, "Hey, check me out on MySpace." You know what I mean? When that started happening, like you and even when YouTube like happening, we're like, "What do you mean?" The video is there and we can watch it whenever we want. It's like it's like a VHS tape. You can just put in the VCR and like it's just like for me anyways, it was like fucking the Matrix was happening and I was still taking it all in. I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, I think I like the old ways a little bit, in the sense of like I think a lot of the comics now, I would say half the comics now would probably quit if it was like it was. That's
it is interesting. I mean, social media gives you this avenue for free advertising for where you're going to be, what you're doing, where your album is, where they can find it. So there are these advantages, but at the same time, it kind of opens up the playing field to a lot more people. So
I like it. I like the way it is. I dig it. It makes a lot of things easier, but I think a lot of I would like it to be a little harder for like
Patrick,
comics.
what do you think? Easier or harder today to be a comedian?
Well, I mean, I don't know what it was like way back, but
Well, let's just go back a couple of weeks ago.
a few weeks ago, it's definitely easier now these days. No, but I think it's like, I mean, at the core of it, I think easier to be a comedian. I think it's like kind of what Manolis said, is the people who are going to make it or stick it out at least are the ones that like really want to do it. But in terms of like progressing, is it easier to progress as a comedian? I think it's more of a like being not opportunist. I'm trying to think, like a pioneer, I guess. Like you said, like when YouTube came out, like Russell Peters will credit YouTube to a lot lot of earlier success. Anyways, like that's what really he was one of the
really
few
took him to
comedians
another
that were
level,
on.
yeah.
He was one of the few people that had a comedy on YouTube, right? That they
Yeah.
give him a huge advantage, like globally, that anyone around the world can now see his comedy, and like, so that's really cool. But now, like, yeah, as time goes on, I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's a lot harder now to throw up a YouTube video. Now you're competing with literally a million other stand-up
Yeah.
videos,
Yeah.
and same with Twitter and you said TikTok and stuff, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. I remember hearing, like, I loved hearing those stories about back in the day, like when you get like you work on your 5 minutes to get on Carson, and then you have a sitcom like that.
Yeah, that seems
Right.
like it would be
Classic story like that would have been a really cool. Like we watched. I don't know if you've seen I'm Dying Up Here, that focuses on the LA comedy scene in the 70s. It was all about that. Like all these guys just want to get on Carson and stuff like that. That would have been a really cool time to do stand up, I think. But yeah. I don't know.
Even if
I
you
don't know
watch
it's easier.
that documentary, I Am Sam Kinison or whatever, I mean, and you watch what he went through, you know, I mean, it's like, wow, man, that's like, it was crazy, right? It's a completely different world. Scotty, you've been, I don't want to say you've been around for a long time, but you've been around for a while. You've seen
But
a
I
lot of
have.
things. I know. So I wrote this question at you with you in mind, because I really wanted your perspective on how it's changed and where you think, you know, that maybe there's always good and bad. So there was probably some good and bad before, and there's good and bad now. But just give me your feeling on easier or harder nowadays.
So let me start with it's harder for me
Personally.
personally, because I'm 55 years old, and you know how that works. It's really a young person's game. So that's it's definitely harder for me. I think it's harder for most comics because it's so much is saturated. You know, like I there were fewer people doing it. My feeling is that in general there was a period of time that was very unique in terms of opportunities for stand up, and I'm talking, I don't know, 80s to early 90s, around that time. And then I just think it got tougher and tougher. Because there's just so many people who do stand up. Now, at the same time, I think that there's always opportunities I think it's always easier for people that are ahead of the curve. Or thinking ahead of the curve. Like it amazes me how I see people that are doing things differently, and of course they take off. And so I guess it's always tough. Like every era is tough, and there's different tough things about it. Right now, there's so many people who want to get on stage. I ran an open mic. I had 45 people sign in every week.
Wow.
And I had 10 spots. Just and there was only so many spots I could give, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember it being anything like that when I started. Like, and this was in Burlington, which is like, it's not like a thriving spot for stand-up comedy, but that was the rate. 400% of the spots I had were people asking for spots. So my overall sense is that it's just harder now, just in general. Probably for everybody, it's harder to be original because so much has been done. But I'm also I'm looking at what you just mentioned before. Like there's opportunities for stand-ups on TikTok. I'm actually looking at. I think there's always something for people looking for something new. But you really have to have a brain that's looking for something new. Because if you're going to show up and do the type of stand-up that you saw as you were growing up or as you've been watching the last year and do it like everybody else, then there probably isn't a lot of opportunity for you.
Yeah. You really have to. You do have to come up with your unique angle, right? Something that's different. You can't just try to replicate, David Brenner from the 70s.
No. Like it's great that you love stand up enough to try it. It's great that you studied it enough to be influenced by it. But I do think you have to always be thinking, and so of new ways to do it, especially today. I think it's tougher today overall. But that's the gig. If you don't like it, there's so many things for you to do. So
and it would be okay if some of you left.
It's fine if all of you left. I'm hoping to get rid of this entire panel by the end of this show. It really is something where no one's forcing you to do it. So stop complaining and look for something new that people will find interesting.
It's funny because I think it was probably around 1990 was the only 2 or 3 times I did stand up on an open mic night, and it was the old Yuck Yucks that was in the Royal Connaught. And it was, I just called up and I got on stage. Like there wasn't
right.
Wait, and I called back 2 weeks later because I had a great night the first night, like everybody else. And I called back 2 weeks later. I go, yeah, sure, we got a spot for you. And they put me on stage. I bombed, and I never went back.
Do you know how weird that sounds today?
I know, it's insane, right?
Hello, I'm a man from the 80s. I would like to venture on your stage and do some jokes.
Yes.
I've never done it before. May I join you?
Well, when I started 10 years ago, I remember you had to call, remember? The Yucks on the Mountain?
Yeah.
You had to call to get a spot. You'd leave a voicemail and then he'll call you back if you got on. But same thing, actually, at least in Hamilton 10 years ago, when I started, the scene in Hamilton was like Manolis, Johnny Monroe, who else? Dan Peters.
Doug Nagy.
Doug Nagy. There was 4 or 5 of them. That's it. And now there's you could be at, even at Levity on shows when comics that aren't on, they'll just come hang out, and there's tons of them now.
There's so many comedians.
10 years ago, there was 5 comics in Hamilton. You could Manolis.
Yeah.
You could get on every show if you wanted to. You know what I mean?
You know who emceed the night that I went up on Yuck Yucks was Scott Hollywood Harris.
Yep.
You guys remember Scott Harris?
Yes, Scott Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott Harris. Yeah. I remember Scott Harris.
He was the MC. Listen, that was a great topic. I really enjoyed getting your take on it from a comedian's perspective. Now, very quickly, I want to go around one more time because now I want to know, is it easier or harder to come up with material? Is it easier in this day and age when everything is like there's so much stuff in our faces, or is it harder because we have so many fewer touch points, things that we all touch the same? You used to be able to go to work on a Friday because Seinfeld was on the night before and everybody had watched it. Now you go into work and all you do is talk about what show do you watch on Netflix, and it turns out it's nothing like what I watch on Netflix, and none of us have anything in common that way. So Manolis, I'll start with you.
It's
easier or harder to find things to make fun of today?
Easier. It's always been easy for me because I don't watch any stand-up. So I don't have to worry about what I'm talking about, what I don't. I watch only stand-up I do watch is if I'm working with you and it's live, I will watch that stand-up. But but do you worry about like the cancel culture and things like that and crossing a line and no? What are you going to take away from me? I have nothing. I have nothing. Cancel me. What are you gonna? You can't cancel that something's. I'm basically canceled anyways.
Basically already.
Like, what do you want? Take it. It's like, someone asked me, did you ever like my last album was named Girl Penis, and it's like, did you have any kind of weird backlash because of that name? I'm like, no, nothing. But maybe if I was like some famous fucking comedian, then there would be like a fucking. Like, I don't know, a meeting somewhere.
Well, out of context, it would have been the classic, like, getting outraged before understanding it. You called it that because you thought girls had penises.
Yeah. Oh, I literally thought when I was 11 years old, 12 years old, this girl mooned me, and I thought I saw a penis. And I said, did I see a penis between your butt cheeks? It's like, yeah. So I thought girls had penises between their butt cheeks.
I did not know that's why it was called that. That
girl penis. Awesome. Yeah. And I was like, and I didn't know until like, I was like maybe 16, 17 years old. I never looked.
There's a story behind it, but I think I didn't want to know.
Those people don't.
Yeah, the first time he hooked up with a girl, he's like, "Where's your penis?"
We're gonna have a sword fight. We're gonna have a sword fight. Patrick, is it easier or harder to come up with material these days?
It's easier to steal material. There's plenty of material on the internet now. You can find really obscure stuff that probably no one else has seen. Just claim it.
Totally easy.
Claim it. Claim it.
Patrick Coppolino revealing his writing method.
Yeah, I have a whole new hour about what it was like growing up black. It's crazy. No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, so it's like I feel like I have like scrambled eggs brain sometimes when I'm trying to write new stuff lately. But I don't know. You can scroll through Facebook and find a million things that might prompt an idea now. Where like before you had to go out and do stuff.
Go meet people.
You had to experience stuff, but now you can just scroll through your phone and learn about all kinds of stuff. So
Scott,
I'd say that way it's easy.
I'm older than you, just so we're clear. And but as an old dude to another old dude,
you had my heart, and then you took it and you friggin' crushed it there. But go on. Sorry.
Is it easier or harder to come up with material these days, Scotty? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't see I don't see it being that more difficult. And I guess because I've been doing it for so long, I kind of know how I write. So I find it easier to tap into what I want to write about, and that's probably experience. But in terms and the whole thing about the cancel culture, I think that stuff exists, but I feel it's like more online. And when you go into a club, I don't think the world is as divided as the internet makes it out to be, or as media makes it out to be. I just think there's a lot of people that go in a comedy club to laugh. And yes, that stuff exists, and yes, certain celebrities get targeted, but I don't think it's as big. I think it's still possible to do comedy. People were always offended, by the way. It used to be more conservatives. So that's changed,
That's very true. I never thought about it that way, but yeah, the left is they've actually outdone the right as far as becoming like overly offended. So
here's what I think cancel culture is a new term, but it's always been there. Like human beings have always tried to get rid of the human beings that don't think like us. That's where we get terms like excommunicated, banished, censored, You know, in this, I'm glad I'm not going to the cancel culture of the 1960s as a black man, because that was really crazy. They, they literally assassinated people who disagreed with them, including the president. That's what I call cancel culture.
Yeah.
So I consider the more recent online version. I notice it sometimes. It's not great, but historically, we've had cancel culture for a long time. In fact, in TV, they used to call it getting canceled. And sometimes it was for political reasons. The Smothers Brothers, Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
Yeah, Manolis just repeats certain words, but it's
Bill Maher, I know that. Eric.
He just tuned back in.
I remember that.
Like cancel culture is not new. What's new is that it's directed towards older white people, and they don't like it at all. And I don't blame them, but it's not. I mean, when I look at people complain about it, I go, "Oh, I'm glad you noticed it now." Were you complaining about it when it was done to Ellen in the 90s? Were you complaining about it when it was done to the Smothers Brothers? Or when they assassinated black civil rights leader? Or like it's quite striking how now it's important. So I don't really worry about it because, quite frankly, this is the lamest form of cancel culture I've ever lived through.
Yeah,
right.
Just well, it's not even like it's not even like back in the day. I guess even if it was wrong, it was a strong feeling based on some current political atmosphere that was going on, right? But now it's like, hey, I scrolled through 7 years of your Twitter and you said something racist 6 years ago. You know what I mean? Right. And it's like, now I'm going to cancel you now for that. Like, it's not even like it's like a targeted thing. They were looking for stuff where if I feel like before maybe it was like something happened and they're like, oh, we don't like this, you're done.
Sure. And I hope we get better at calling it out. Like I think like the Kevin Hart thing was like, I mean, what was that, like 10 years ago? He tweeted the bad joke.
That's what's crazy about it, though. You saying that, people could be like, want to cancel you for thinking that was ridiculous.
But those people will never come to my shows or buy my albums anyway. So
I know,
but do I care?
Yeah, exactly. But it just amazes me the how crazy some of these people can be with these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is Friday at 420. We're talking with our good friend Scott Faulconbridge, Manolis, Patrick here. We're moving on to another topic on this particular edition of the show. This is topic number 1. This one goes to Patrick first. Everybody else, strap yourselves in. This is a good one. What's your favorite soup? All right. Yes. From cancel culture yesterday. To your favorite soup. What's your favorite soup, Patrick?
Stracciatella soup.
I'm sorry,
you know what that is?
No, I don't.
It's an Italian soup. It's with like egg and wine, and you could put pasta in it. I grew up having it with like ravioli in it.
Stracciatella soup?
Stracciatella soup, yeah. It's
wow, that sounds good.
It's like veggies, wine, egg. So
pasta, it's not like Italian
Parmesan,
wedding.
Put Parmesan cheese in it.
Right.
No,
Italian wedding. Soup? Okay.
No.
That's the only Italian soup I think I've had. I had the Italian wedding soup.
Yeah.
Stracciatella, not so much. You go up to that East Side Marriott, you can have all the Italian wedding soup you want. It's fantastic. Scotty.
Scotty's just like
just looking at us.
I love it. So
who are these idiots?
Such a look of disappointment.
Why do I keep saying yes to this show?
Well, we just went from the most divisive topic of the modern age to what soup do you like?
Remember last time you were on, it was Jell-O, best flavor of Jell-O. We always got to have a good food topic on every show. Have you ever
I forgot about that.
Have you ever had the stracciatella soup, Scott?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
What is your favorite soup?
So what's that soup you can eat cold?
Gazpacho?
Yeah,
I said Gestapo. I'm sorry.
Gazpacho?
Yeah.
Hogan's Heroes.
I said Gestapo. Oh my God. I knew it sounded like that.
You got me all riled up about cancel culture, and then you throw me a soup question. And all of a sudden, I can't even remember the name of soup. This is what happens when you're over 50.
Yes, I know.
And the topics move too
Oh my
fast.
They move too fast.
There's a great sketch actually of gazpacho where this guy, he wants to eat gazpacho, but they left it on the counter so it's room temperature, so he burns his lips on it because it's gazpacho's supposed to be cold, but it was warm, so it was way too hot. It's so funny. Anyways,
So Scott, you're telling me your favorite soup is gazpacho?
Gazpacho. I really, you know what I like about it? I like that it's a soup that you can eat on a hot day. And I don't think you can really say that about a lot of soups. I like my soups like I like my people. Different.
Okay. I thought you were going to say cold, but whatever.
Yeah. I probably can come up with a better line if I work on it. But you know what I'm going for here? What I'm saying is, if I'm going to eat a soup, I don't want it to be like regular hot soup, that some
You're not a chicken
rich
noodle, dude.
brew and a
No.
whatever. I want something a little different. Cold soup. It's almost like an oxymoron of soup.
It is.
I
like that. So we got stracciatella, we got gazpacho. Manoli, bring it home, brother. Favorite soup.
I'm bringing it home. Mushroom soup. Right? It's like that mushroom. It's just
With the
like,
kind of mushrooms that he likes.
no, like not magic. It's like it's a noodles, whatever. Like it's Lipton, whatever that company. It's like this is mushroom soup. It's like thick brown mushroom, and you cook it up. But what's great. You eat it, but like if you have some if say you have chicken fingers, you cooked up, and you don't have any dipping sauce, you can like dip it in the soup. You can like put some mushroom on your chicken fingers, and it's fucking delicious, dude.
mushroom soup and chicken fingers.
I've done it.
The weird thing is, the more you
It's like you're
described it, the worse it sounded.
It's so delicious, bro.
Okay. Hold on. I have a recipe for Manolis because we actually cook this on a fairly regular basis here. So you take some nice pork chops, you throw them in a baking dish, and you dump a can of mushroom soup, but no extra, like just the can of juice, and then you bake it at like 325 for about a half an hour, and those pork chops just absorb all that mushroom soup flavor, and it is, and they're nice and moist.
Nice.
It's a really good meal, man.
Nice, man.
See, Mike made that sound much more appetizing than you can dip chicken fingers in it.
Yeah, but it was the
brown.
second.
It's brown and mushy, and you dip your chicken fingers in it.
Yeah, but it's like one of those moments. Like it was like the Reese's peanut butter cups, where it's like I just had chicken fingers on one side and the soup here, and I'm like, wait a minute, I wonder. I just started doing that. I'm like, oh my god, we should somehow sell this. You know what I mean? Like somehow get like this mushroom soup in the fingers. You know?
Yes. So now you can buy Manolis's mushroom chicken cups.
All right. Well, we have officially driven this right in.
He's working on the prototype.
What do you say we wrap it up, kids? Once around the horn, I want everybody to share with me what you're doing, where you're going, where we can find you. Scotty, we'll start with you. You got some shows coming up. You got some stuff happening. I know you're working on the second episode of This Is My Show. What else is going on?
I'm doing the front lines of comedy. Emceeing that show that'll be online across North America. I think it's a Microsoft corporate sponsored by them for frontline health workers on that awesome. Thursday night. I'll also be, doing a show in Hamilton at the Galley. I'll be headlining that one. And apparently they've got great food, so you can eat and laugh, hopefully not at the same time. And to wrap this up, I'm an online force with This Is My Show at the unknowncomedyclub.com, streaming soon to a computer screen near you.
Any chance at the Galley they might serve chicken fingers and mushroom soup? What do you think?
Yes, mostly
Probably.
for single middle-aged men that are lonely.
I did the show there a few weeks ago, and this is the best part. I asked for a menu, and the bartender said, "Someone's using it." Someone's using the menu. One menu.
Times are tough during COVID.
Absolutely, dude.
I blame cancel culture.
So you're at the Galley this Thursday night, Scotty?
Yes.
This
Yes,
Thursday night at the Galley. Go see our good friend Scott Faulconbridge. We'd love you to go out and support him and his work.
Exactly.
Manoli,
Yes.
what do you got to throw at us? Throw
Okay.
something at us, buddy.
Kev Sheeler's got a new show on Tuesdays. I'm doing it tonight at Austin Beer Hall, and it's 1103 Cannon Street East, Hamilton. It starts at 8:00, and I'll be doing that show tonight. Second thing I want to say is like one thing about Scott is he's like the reason why I love him so much is like he's so good at just having fun on and off stage.
Yeah.
Like when we did a show on Saturday, and he just turns me into a giggle machine. I can't stop laughing when I'm around this fucking dude.
That's
He's
why
my
we love
favorite.
having you on this show, man. We laugh so much when you're on, Scott. We really appreciate you doing it, man.
Well, I love Manolis not just because he said that, because he actually said that while picking his nose, which
Scott's a great guy, and
Patrick Coppolino, bring us home, baby. What's going on at Levity?
Levity Comedy Club, amateur night every Wednesday. So there's a show tomorrow night, and this weekend we got Sandra Battellini. She's hilarious. So
Sandra
get your tickets
Battellini.
at levitycomedyclub.com. We got lots of cool shows coming up. So,
Friday and Saturday night, Sandra?
Friday and Saturday. Yep.
Friday and Saturday night, long weekend, Thanksgiving, everybody. So please have a great Thanksgiving with your families, particularly you, the fans of this crazy little thing we call a show. We really appreciate you being here. Go to levitycomedyclub.com for all the details, and make sure you get your tickets always in advance of any of those shows because there is still limited seating. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Always a blast hanging out with you, but most important, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Tell your family, tell your friends. Every Tuesday at 4:40, that's where you can find Friday 4:20. I can't even get through that anymore. Until we get a chance to talk to you again, have an awesome Thanksgiving and a great week.
Woo!